Chapter 1. The room I didn't want, the boy I didn't ask for. Everyone warned me. Don't live in the Delta Theta Chi frat house if you want peace, sanity, or a bathroom that doesn't reek of Axe body spray and broken dreams. But I was broke. Transferring in mid-semester. And when you're desperate, you take what you can get. What I didn't know was that my assigned roommate would be the Chase Carter. Frat royalty. Star swimmer. King of hookups and hungover apologies. And the guy who once tripped me in front of the entire dining hall for daring to call his Gucci slides cheap-looking. The house looked like it had once been beautiful, Greek columns, stone archways, a grand staircase, but it now screamed, decorated by dudes with no supervision. Think, mismatched furniture, a mountain of Red Bull cans, and a mysterious sock on the chandelier. My room was the attic. Creaky floor. Slanted ceiling. One small window. And a second bed. Already occupied by him. He looked up from his phone as I entered. Shirtless, of course. Muscles like someone designed him in a lab and then gave up halfway through personality programming. Oh, you're the transfer. I dropped my duffel. You're the mistake I didn't ask for. He grinned. This is going to be fun. It wasn't. Chase was the kind of roommate who left protein shake blenders unwashed for days, watched TikToks without headphones, and walked around in nothing but boxers, even while doing laundry. I was neat, gay, and allergic to bro energy. We were a walking rom-com trope minus the romance. So far. 2 weeks in, I was invited, forced, to join their infamous Thursday night confession circle. A sacred Delta Theta Chi tradition. 1 part drinking game, 1 part trauma dump. I thought I could dodge the worst of it until it was my turn. Confess something you've never told anyone, said the frat president, grinning like he smelled secrets. I stared at my cup. Then at Chase, who was leaning back on the couch, shirt unbuttoned halfway like he was born in a cologne ad. I once had a crush on a guy who looked a lot like Chase, I blurted out. Silence. Then whoops and hollers. And Chase? He smirked. Well, he said, I hope I lived up to the fantasy. The next day, everything changed. He started wearing less. Staring more. Accidentally brushing past me while shirtless. Saying things like, you still thinking about that confession? Was I? Did I admit it? Not on your life. But something had shifted. And the worst part? I wasn't sure I hated it. Chapter 2. Confessions, rumors, and the war of whipped cream. There are a few rules in college. Don't eat food labeled property of Chad. Never trust frat house plumbing. And never, ever, let a cocky frat boy think you're crushing on him. I broke rule number 3. And Chase Carter was enjoying it far too much. Everywhere I went, Chase was there. Shirtless in the hallway. Winking at me during breakfast. Whispering, still dreaming about me, when no one was looking. He even labeled my oatmeal in the fridge River's Love Fuel. The entire frat house thought we were a thing now. Which was bad enough. Worse, I was starting to wonder what it'd feel like if we were. I decided to get even. At 3 a.m., while he was snoring like a diesel truck, I covered his hand in whipped cream and tickled his nose. What I didn't expect. He moaned in his sleep. A low, breathy, dangerously hot moan. Then slapped himself in the face and sat up, blinking in confusion, shirt riding up to reveal way too much skin. What the hell, he muttered. I barely escaped without blushing myself into a coma. The next night he got me back. I woke up to a new group text titled, Delta's Hottest New Couple? With a selfie of me and Chase sleeping back to back, spooned like 2 guilty croissants. Caption, guess River's type is frat boy deluxe. I wanted to die. Instead, I dumped an open can of energy drink into his sock drawer. He retaliated by telling everyone we were fake dating for a social experiment. By the time I tried to deny it, it was too late. People were shipping us. There were memes. Fan art. A poll titled, Who's the Top? It all came to a head during the frat's midterm mixer. Someone dared us to kiss. You already fake date, they said. Might as well seal the deal. I expected Chase to laugh it off. Instead, he looked at me, serious, calm, and said, only if River's okay with it. And suddenly, the room was spinning. I nodded. He leaned in. and kissed me. It lasted maybe 3 seconds, but it set my whole damn body on fire. The crowd screamed. Someone spilled a drink on my shoes. I backed away, mumbling something about getting air. Chase didn't follow. But later that night, I found a note on my pillow. Wasn't part of the prank. Just so you know. See. Chapter 3. The fake couple challenge that got way too real. If I had $1 for every time I said, "It's not what it looks like," this semester, I could probably afford to move out and never look at Chase Carter's stupid, beautiful face again. But no. I was still here. Still stuck. And now officially labeled Frat's favorite power couple. All because of one stupid kiss that I hadn't stopped thinking about for 3 days. On Saturday, the Frat house announced its newest game. Delta's Perfect Match, Couples Challenge Edition. Think of it as frat boy Hunger Games, but for fake relationships. And guess who got voted to compete first? And Chase. Of course. Round 1. The "How well do you know your partner" game. We sat in bean bags while frat brothers bombarded us with questions. What's River's favorite movie? Chase. The Princess Bride. He was right. I blushed. What's Chase's biggest fear? Me, running out of protein powder? Chase. Falling for someone who doesn't fall back. Silence. And then too many people saying "all" way too loudly. Round 2, the touch test. Blindfolded, I had to identify Chase by touch. My fingers brushed his forearm. Then his cheek. His abs. Damn, I muttered. That's him. Laughter. Heat in my face. And something unreadable in his smile when I took off the blindfold. Round 3, Truth or Dare, Couples Only Edition. River, said the frat president, truth or dare? I picked dare. Because I'm stupid. Give your partner a lap dance. I froze. So did Chase. I what? Absolutely not. But Chase was already dragging a chair into the center. If we're doing this, go big, he smirked. You owe me for the sock drawer incident. And that's how I ended up grinding on my fake boyfriend in the middle of the living room while drunk frat guys cheered like it was the Super Bowl. And the worst part? He liked it. I did too. Maybe too much. Later that night, we sat on our beds, pretending everything was fine. I was pretending I didn't notice him glancing at my mouth every 5 seconds. He was pretending not to notice the way I kept fidgeting with my sleeves like a lovesick fool. I meant it, he said finally. What? The kiss. And everything since. My heart did a triple flip. I don't know what's happening, I whispered. He leaned closer. Me neither. But I don't want it to stop. Chapter 4. X marks the chaos. Just when I thought things couldn't get more confusing than fake dating your hot frat boy roommate who may or may not be catching feelings, the universe said, bet. Chase's ex. Perfect hair. Designer boots indoors. Smug smile that screamed rich parents and Instagram influencer energy. And the way Chase's face paled when he saw him? I was in trouble. It was a regular Monday frat brunch. Yes, that's a thing. No, it never includes actual breakfast food. I was halfway through my coffee when Chase stiffened beside me. Landon strolled in like he owned the place. Chase, he purred. Still living the Greek life? Chase's jaw clenched. Didn't know you were back on campus. Landon's eyes flicked to me. And you are. River, I said. His boyfriend. It was instinct. Stupid, panicked, jealous instinct. Chase blinked. Landon laughed. Boyfriend? Since when does Chase do commitment? Cue frat boys whispering in the background like we were on some dramatic Netflix reboot. After Landon left, with a wink I wanted to scrub off his face, Chase pulled me aside. You didn't have to say that, he muttered. Boyfriend? I panicked. He was condescending and perfect and I hate his jawline. Chase grinned. You're kinda cute when you're jealous. I'm not jealous, I snapped. I just hate his whole expensive cologne energy. But the truth? I was jealous. Because suddenly I wasn't just fighting my feelings for Chase. I was fighting the ghost of someone who'd had him first. That night, An invitation slipped under our door. Landon's welcome back bash. Private rooftop. Free drinks. Bring your +1. Chase looked at me. We don't have to go. Are you kidding? I said. We're absolutely going. Because now it was personal. The rooftop was obnoxiously perfect. Fairy lights. Cold cocktails. Beautiful people who looked like they belonged in music videos. Landon found us within minutes. Well, look at you two, he smirked. Playing house. I smiled sweetly. Oh no, it's not a game. I've seen him drool in his sleep. That's real commitment. Landon laughed. We'll see how long this one lasts. Before I could snap, Chase grabbed my hand and pulled me onto the dance floor. We didn't dance. We swayed. Slow. Close. His hand on my lower back. Mine on his chest. You okay? He murmured. No, I admitted. I hate him. He chuckled. I used to think I liked that kind of attention. But feels fake. I looked up. What does this feel like? He leaned in. But right before our lips touched, Landon cut the music. Let's play a game, he announced. Confession Roulette. Chapter 5. Confession Roulette and the Secrets That Burn. Rooftop. Twinkling lights. Laughter in the background. And me, standing next to my fake boyfriend as his ex twisted the knife with a devilish grin. Confession Roulette. Landon beamed. You spin the bottle. Whoever it lands on answers the truth. No skips. No lies. I wanted to run. Instead, I sat right next to Chase. Right in the line of fire. And the bottle spun. Round 1. Softball secrets. It started easy. What's your guilty pleasure? Some guy answered, reality dating shows. Laughter. Relief. Have you ever had a crush on a professor? More laughter. Shots were poured. But then, the bottle landed on Chase. And Landon's smile sharpened. What's the one thing you regret about your last relationship? Silence. Chase stared at the bottle like it might save him. Everyone leaned in. He cleared his throat. I regret letting someone think they meant less to me than they did. My stomach flipped. Because Landon blinked, like he'd just been slapped. And I realized, Chase wasn't talking about him. He was looking at me. Suddenly, the game wasn't fun anymore. When the game ended, I pulled Chase aside behind a stack of chairs and cheap floral decorations. That answer, I said. What did you mean? He hesitated. You're not just a prank anymore, River. You're not a game. My pulse stuttered. I don't want this to be fake, he added. Not with you. I should have kissed him. Instead, I panicked. But it is fake, right? We're just playing along. I saw the way his expression cracked. Like I'd thrown cold water on a fire. He nodded slowly. Right. And walked away. The Uber back to the house was 5 minutes of silence. My hands fidgeted in my lap. Chase stared out the window. And I couldn't stop hearing his voice in my head. You're not just a prank anymore. So why did I say what I did? Because I was scared. Scared it wasn't fake for me either. When we got back, the hallway lights were dim. The house was quiet. I turned the corner toward our room and nearly collided with Landon. In my hallway. At our door. What are you doing here? I hissed. He smirked. Chase left his jacket. Thought I'd return it. Maybe Chet. He reached for the door, like he belonged. And that's when Chase stepped out of the room, eyes narrowing, voice cold. Get out, Landon. Now. But Landon leaned in toward me. Close enough to whisper. You really think you're the only one he's said that to? Chapter 6. Lies, Likes and Late-Night Regrets. If I had known what was coming the next morning, I wouldn't have slept at all. Instead, I woke up late, hair a mess, heart still raw from Chase's almost confession and Landon's poison words. I checked my phone. 56 messages. Frat group chat. That's never a good sign. The image loaded slowly. Chase. On the rooftop. Leaning in close to someone. Not me. Some guy in a maroon shirt I didn't recognize. And it looked bad. Hands touching. Lips too close. Captioned. Guess Chase's boyfriend took the night off? My stomach dropped. Was it from last night? And why did I care so much? Because fake or not, I'd started believing in us. And now it looked like Chase hadn't. He was in the kitchen, pouring cereal like nothing happened. No shirt. Just gym shorts. Abs out. Nerve unmatched. You really couldn't wait 12 hours before hooking up with someone else? He blinked. What? I shoved the phone in his face. He looked, then laughed. That's Evan. My cousin. I blinked. You're what? He's back from NYU. We haven't seen each other in forever. That pic? Landon took it. Obviously. Cue my brain short-circuiting. Oh, I said quietly. Then, wait, Landon took it? Are you saying he set you up? I'm saying, Chase said slowly, he knew exactly what that photo would look like to you. I felt like a damn fool. Not just because I jumped to conclusions, but because I realized something else. I didn't want Chase as a fake anything anymore. I wanted all of it. The stupid jokes. The heated glances. The lap dance memories. His dumb cereal obsession. His protective instincts. So I told him. I'm sorry, I said, voice low. I believed him. Not you. He stepped closer. Close enough to touch. Want to believe me now? He asked. Yes. And this time I kissed him. No games. No performance. Just heat, lips, breath, heart. He pushed me gently against the counter, lips trailing to my jaw, hands strong on my waist. And suddenly, fake was the farthest thing from reality. Later that night, trouble reboots. We were lying in bed, tangled up in post-confession bliss, when Chase's phone buzzed. A text. From Landon. Nice save, Chase. Just remember, I don't give up easy. Let's see how long he lasts. He showed it to me. And I laughed. Bring it on, I said. I'm not going anywhere. But deep down, I knew this wasn't over. Landon had just begun to play dirty. Chapter 7. Rumor has it, you're out. It started with whispers. A few weird glances in the hallway. A chuckle I caught too late. And by lunch, half the frat house was avoiding eye contact with me like I'd come down with a contagious scandal. I cornered Kyle, one of the seniors. What's going on? He hesitated. You should probably talk to the exec board. Cue the chill in my spine. Because the exec board doesn't talk. They decide. They called it in the common room. President. Vice President, 3 upperclassmen in polos and judgmental stares. I sat across from them, Chase at my side. President Dean cleared his throat. There's been a concerning report filed about you, River. I blinked. I what? Dean glanced at his phone. Allegations of inappropriate behavior. Manipulating your roommate. Using your relationship to climb social ranks. My jaw hit the floor. You think I'm what? Clout chasing? Over Chase. He didn't answer. But I knew who planted that poison. Landon. Chase stood up, eyes blazing. This is bull. Everyone here knows River. He's the only reason half of us didn't fail midterms, and the reason our last fundraiser even made goal. Dean raised a brow. Are you saying the relationship's real, then? Chase didn't blink. I'm saying he's real. And better than half of you sitting here pretending your hookups don't count because they're behind closed doors. Mic dropped. But I wasn't breathing yet. Because then Dean said, we'll need 48 hours to investigate. During that time, River can't stay in the house. Chase didn't even flinch. You're staying with me, he said before I could speak. Off campus. My brother's place. I should have felt crushed. But as I packed a single bag and left behind my shared bunk bed and the weird hallway rug that always smelled like beer, I didn't feel lost. I felt furious. And determined. Landon wanted me out? Fine. But I was coming back. And when I did, I'd burn the lies with me. Chase's brother, Theo, lived 20 minutes off campus. Chill, older, and apparently very okay with Chase bringing home a boyfriend. Even if we still weren't labeling it. That night, I crashed on Chase's air mattress while he took the couch. At least, that was the plan. But by 2 a.m., I heard a soft knock on the door. Can't sleep, he said. And then he was crawling in beside me. Body warm. Arms slung around my waist. Breath against my neck. He didn't say anything else. He didn't need to. Neither of us slept. But not for the reasons we thought. Chapter 8. Dirty Secrets and Shirtless Redemption. The plan was simple. Find proof Landon made up the allegations. Send it to the exec board. Get me reinstated. Maybe make out in celebration. But like everything with Chase and me, it got complicated real fast. We were mid-coffee in Theo's kitchen, both half-dressed and totally distracted, when Chase's phone buzzed. A known number. Meet me at the old gym. I have what you need. Come alone. Super normal. Definitely not a horror movie setup. Chase frowned. Evan. My cousin. The one in the photo. I blinked. Why is he texting you like a Netflix villain? He used to date Landon. Before me. Oh. We found Evan behind the old gym, in a hoodie and cargo pants like he was selling secrets instead of weed. He handed Chase a flash drive. Landon sent this to me back when they were still hooking up. Called it his insurance. Thought he was smart. Turns out he's just messy. I plugged it into my laptop. Dozens of screenshots. Texts. DMs. Even voice notes. All of them from Landon, bragging about framing me, manipulating the board, and getting Chase back where he belongs. Busted, I whispered. And then Evan added, I already forwarded it to the entire frat. We arrived just in time to witness the aftermath. The group chat was blowing up. The exec board was in shambles. And Landon? Cornered in the hallway. Red-faced. Shouting. Denying everything until Kyle showed him his own voice note, where he literally said, I just need River out of the way. Dean cleared his throat. You're out to Landon. Pack your things. The silence afterward was delicious. Almost as delicious as the way Chase smirked at me and said loud enough for everyone to hear. You okay, babe? I nearly choked. That night, I was back in my room. The we're so sorry pizza had been delivered. My bed was made with fresh sheets. But Chase didn't go to his own bed. He sat on mine. Shirtless. Hair wet from the shower. Looking at me like I was more than a comeback. You didn't have to fight for me, I whispered. Yeah, he said, I really did. And then, finally, we let go. Hands in hair. Lips on skin. Breathless heat. A kiss that deepened, darkened, turned hungry. His voice broke between kisses. You make me crazy. I pulled him closer. But I like crazy. The morning after, labels and laughter. So, what do we call this now? I asked. He grinned. Real. Boyfriends? Only if you don't mind sharing the last slice of pizza with me forever. I kissed him again. I didn't mind one bit. Chapter 9. Frat Games and Future Fears. Life post-Landon was weirdly peaceful. No more scheming. No backhanded comments. No one accidentally messing with my laundry. Chase and I were official. We'd gone public. The frat was surprisingly supportive, except for that one guy who still called us power couple unironically. But peace is boring. And we're chaos magnets. So obviously, something had to blow up. It starts with a game. It was Fratlympics weekend, a dumb series of games we played every semester to bond and bruise egos. I was on Team Alpha. Chase? Team Omega. Naturally. We were mid-water balloon dodgeball when Chase pelted me right in the chest, and I slipped, landing flat on my ass in front of the entire house. Laughter. Cheers. Then he walked up, grinning, and kissed me. In public. In front of everyone. It was hot. It was bold. And it was followed by a very loud, dude, he's your boyfriend, not the final boss. But we won. So later that night, Chase was quiet. Lying beside me in bed, fingers tracing patterns on my back, but his mind clearly spinning. Okay, I finally said, what's going on in that hot, annoyingly secretive head of yours? He sighed. You ever feel like, this is all too good? Like it can't actually be this easy? I sat up. Define this. No. Everything. I've got one semester left. And I have no idea what happens after. That hit. It was easy to pretend college was forever. That we'd stay trapped in this perfect frat bubble where laundry was optional and love was intense and messy and magical. But Chase had dreams. I had plans. And graduation was creeping up like a hangover you didn't see coming. Where do you want to be a year from now? I asked. He was quiet. Then, wherever you are. I smiled. Same. But in the silence that followed, I wondered if love was enough to hold us together once the walls of this house came down. The next day, Chase got a letter. Official. From a grad program out of state. California. He didn't tell me at first. I found it on the kitchen counter while grabbing oat milk. My heart dropped. I wasn't mad he applied. I was scared. Because if he left, what would we become? Chapter 10. The Last Confession. It was a Friday. One of those blue-skied, too-perfect spring days where it almost felt like the world was holding its breath. And I was holding mine too, because Chase still hadn't brought up the grad school letter. So I did what any normal, emotionally charged, secretly panicking boyfriend would do. I made pancakes. Bad ones. He walked into the kitchen, hair a mess, shirt inside out. I dropped the plate in front of him. Eat your carbs. Then tell me why the hell you're leaving me for California. He froze. Fork in midair. You saw the letter. Yup. I crossed my arms. My voice shook. Were you ever going to tell me? He set the fork down. I didn't want to ruin what we have. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Too late. But then, he pulled out a second letter from his hoodie pocket. It was addressed to me. I declined, he said. I stared. You what? I turned it down. Chase, what the hell? That was your dream school. It was. But that was before you. Before I realized home isn't a place, it's a person. And mine standing right here yelling at me over pancakes. I blinked. Twice. Then I tackled him into the couch. And kissed him like I'd never get another chance. Later that night, curled up under a blanket watching garbage TV, he whispered. I didn't say no to every opportunity. I raised a brow. I deferred. Applied to a program here. So I could stay close. With you. Start slow. Build something real. And what about long term? He kissed my temple. We'll figure it out. 1 year at a time. The frat threw a goodbye bash for the seniors. We danced in the backyard under string lights. Chase wore a ridiculous crown someone forced on him. I wore glitter for no reason. At one point, Evan grabbed the mic and roasted the hell out of us, then handed me the mic. Any last words, River? I looked out at the crowd, then at Chase, who winked at me from across the lawn. And I said, I came here looking for a degree. I found a dumb roommate with great abs. I fell in love. And somehow he fell back. Cheers. Laughter. Confetti cannons someone definitely wasn't supposed to set off. Back in our room, with the lights low and music still drifting in from outside, Chase pulled me close. Hey, he whispered, I never said thank you. For what? For choosing me. Even when I was a mess. I smiled, burying my face into his chest. You weren't a mess. You were just a chapter that needed the right co-author. We kissed. Not with urgency. Not with fireworks. But with something better. Certainty.